This land of ours is under attack. The time has come, we're gonna take it back. Just wait and see. Don't tread on me. I won't sit back, stand idly by, watch the heart of my nation die. Oh, not me. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on my Bible, don't tread on my guns, don't you tread on my faith in God's only Son. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on me.
Hey everybody, this is John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly, and today's show is being brought to you by Mauser's Garage and Tire Center, PatriotsOnline.com, Fayette County Recovery, Storage, and U-Haul, 724-323-3833. Country Motor Sales, 724-628-9190. Tactical Civics, White Mountain Logging, Salt Foundation Ministries, New Life Free Methodist Church, Highline Motorsports, Gun Owners of America, the HillBilly Jon Radio, and it's on YouTube now. Please watch it and hit that like button. John Marietta for We the People, as you can see behind us, and Justin's Tavern sent in, I don't know what you want to call it, a plethora of food. Huh, Nick?
Smorgasbord.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. We got fish sandwiches here. Everybody, he heard our call about doing the different fish fries for the fire department. So if you need a fish sandwich or fried pierogies or homemade potato chips I don't. He sent in enough of food for an army here. But
so what he did was he gave us a little sampling of some of the sides. So he gave us his chips, which they taste like fresh cut chips and fresh cut French fries. Those were pretty good, but my favorite, like I said, were the pierogies, and I don't know, they taste homemade. He said that he doesn't make them himself, but they're pretty close to homemade to me.
Yeah, they're good.
So if you're looking for a good side and some good food, they're known for their wings though, and I just sampled all their sauces. And I think that's probably what I'm going to try next.
And it's Justin's Tavern. It's 724-603-2660. They're on West Crawford Avenue. I guess that'd be like Dunbar Township, so it must be somewhere on just before you get to Connellsville. So, anyways, it's been kind of a busy week with everything going on, and it's only Tuesday. We ended up sending one of the last turkeys to freezer camp yesterday. So, I tell you what, it was all Joe Kelly stopped over and gave me a hand, and it was all we could do to pick it up. There goes the fireman. Say a prayer for them people. They're always helping us. Anyways, we got that done. But I want to start out with this. Where much is given, much is expected. Those who have power and wealth have the ability to help those in need. Isaiah 10:1 and 2. What sorrow awaits the unjust judges and those who issue unfair laws. They deprive the poor of justice and deny the rights of the needy among my people. They prey on widows and take advantage of orphans. In most countries of the world, the gap between rich and poor is widening. Those in power and those in those countries don't seem to be too worried about it. Perhaps they believe it's those with money and influence who ensure their own position of power, and so they favor those who offer such support. Or to put it more crudely, there are fewer votes in the poor. Laws can be passed which make it harder for the poor and easier for the rich. There can even be corruption involved. Not just a matter of unwise political decisions, but actually dishonesty. And down through the years, followers of Christ have been complicit in this. We vote into power those who will feather our own nest and earnestly pray for the poor as we advocate for policies that will hurt them. It is if this is mistakenly thought to be advocacy for the political cause, we must think again. Even in Isaiah's day, God's people got caught up in what we call politics. Though the prophet, God rebukes those in power who misuse their power by doing things which hurt those most in need. Then as now, God pays special need to the poor and needy. His agenda is neither right wing or left wing. He concerns his concern is for justice and fairness, not for the immediate interests of those who already have power and wealth. Christians have a part to play in shaping and reshaping our socio-economic perspectives. Withdrawal is no option, yet involvement invites misunderstanding. If we say, when I give food to the poor, they call us a saint. When I ask why they are poor, they call us a communist. Think about that for a minute. When we give food to the poor, they call us saints. But when I ask why they are poor, they call us communists.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't want to solve them.
I found out online that, and I'll tell you what, it was. I thought it was fitting because of a lot of the things that's going on in our country with different things. Like I said, we've been trying to keep people informed about many of the things that's happening in the county. It's many days since the ribbon cutting at the prison. And it doesn't appear that they have opened it yet, but it looks like they must be getting ready to do something in the near future because there's lots of cars up there, and I'm sure that there's people moving back and forth. But anyways, you think about it, they used it for political gain. They used taxpayers' money to further their political advancement. So that's where we're at. I did get to a couple fish fry. I only got to one fish fry this week. We was at Hiller, and I'm going to tell you what. When I tell you I couldn't finish it, I couldn't finish it. The piece of fish they gave me, it must have been a whole side of a. It was a great big piece of deep fried cod, and it was wonderful. And the homemade French fries were really good, and they had coleslaw. And so I just got invited. The boys that were on before us, they're from Brownsville. South Brownsville Fire Department. They want me to stop over Friday, but I'm going to be in Bell Vernon this Friday because they invited me 2 weeks ago, and I didn't make it, so I told them I'd be there this week. We're going to the Bell Vernon Fish Fry on Friday, and Justin, I'll tell you what, he outdid himself here today. Nick's chewing on that sandwich.
Jared from Justin Tavern.
Yeah, Jared from Justin Tavern. But
Delicious.
Nick's liking that fish sandwich.
I love it. It just looks delicious and smells delicious, and I can't wait to dig in. I'm trying to savor it.
Yeah.
When you walk into work and you get food handed to you, it's a good day. It really is.
We're going to try to get more of those samples, Nick.
I would love that.
So that we can promote the local fish fries because, they're always trying to raise money, mostly the fire department. So
yes.
If there's the fire department out there that wants to send us some samples, we're more than happy to give us we'll give you a review on the John Marietta show.
And if you get a HillBilly Jon review, that's certified.
One thing for sure is Hilder Fire Department don't need no help advertising, I don't think, but I will advertise for them. They're wonderful people out there. They treated us really well. When I walked in, they told me that it was an hour and 15-minute wait, and about an hour later we had our food, and I tell you what, it was good. I mean, it was very good, and so God support all these fire departments.
Yeah. What a good time.
Yep. So, anyways, we got so many things going on in the county. You wanted to say about the...
Yes, there is a bingo going on in March. It's a March Madness bingo. Let me pull it up. I'm sorry. John caught me off guard. I thought we were going to do it at the end of the show, but that's okay. So this nonprofit organization called Twisted Tines Outdoors, it's a nonprofit organization that is geared towards getting the kids off the couch and into the outdoor world. And so they host 3 annual events every year. There's a kids fishing day, a kids hunter safety course day, and a kids annual pumpkin day. And so they also provide a backpack full of supplies to local kids in need to start their school year out right. So they are raising funding so that they can provide all these fun activities and these things for the kids in the community. So they're doing a March Madness bingo. I've already checked out their website. It is Twisted Tine. Let me see what their Facebook page. Twisted Tines Outdoor Club. They have a bunch of fabulous Chinese auction items that they have been getting in, and there's also early bird bingo specials. You can purchase additional boards, Chinese auctions, small game of chance. They will also have concessions available for sale. It's $25 for a ticket, and that includes the 10 games of bingo, and then extra packets are $10. And so that is March 9th, and it is at the Uniontown Social Hall. Doors open at 2:30. Early bird starts at 4. And so we hope to see you there. It's a great cause to get these kids off of their devices and out and hunting. And then what about your...
Well, we got the clay shoot. The Second Amendment clay shoot for the Republican Party is going to be Saturday, April 13th at 9 a.m. You can look up on Fayette County Republican Committee Facebook page, and I'm sure they're still taking people that are looking for teams of 4. So, and then the other thing is we're doing murders. Mysteries Most Wanted. Mm-hmm. It's the Pittsburgh Dinner Theater is coming to, believe it or not, Haydentown Fire Department. We have to limit it like 125 to 150 people, but we're getting a lot of people. So please call my wife at 724-322-7349, and she'll be able to get you tickets or make arrangements if you want to come. It's
Friday, March 22nd.
It's Friday, March 22nd. That's going to be a very busy week for us.
Yeah.
So, but anyways,
it's $50 a person, $90 a couple, and the one that they did back a couple of months ago was really fun. The group of people that come in to put on the show, they're very entertaining, and so they get a lot of crowd involvement, and the more the crowd is into it, the more they play into the crowd. So it was really fun last time.
Yep. We're waiting on a caller to call in right now, but anyways, the other thing we're gonna try to do on Friday's show, we're gonna try to start doing some short editorials, and this is where we're at, this is where we're at, and I need you to call me and leave a message or text me a message.
Yes, we'll get you on.
It's 304-441-7562, and if you do that and you can text me a brief thing, we can print it out and we can take and look at it, and we want things that are relevant to our county here, Fayette County. So, yeah. And anyways,
and you can text that number if you want us to come out and pick up some food, or if you want to get in contact with us about the fish fries. I'm all about trying to.
We'll send Nick.
Yeah. Get
send
free,
me, baby.
We'll send
me
samples, and we'll give you a plug and a review. But
so,
I'll eat more than just sample size. Trust me.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Hey, we got several things going on, but in the county, and we want to try to help everybody out we possibly can. Greg, are you with us?
I'm here. How you doing, John?
Well, we're doing good. We're telling all the people about all the great fish fries and all the things that's happening in the county. The firemen raising money, so we're trying to help them out as much as we can. So, but anyways, I had you. I talked to you earlier this morning, and this is where we're at. So,
yeah.
We got a lot of things going on across the state. Actually, we got some things going on in the county. We have we're waiting on a ruling back from Judge Luskin about some things that we presented to him. We're hoping that gets back to us in the near future or quickly, and about doing a recount here in the county. And
you haven't had a response from that yet?
No, not yet. So. I think that's kind of a good thing. He's probably checking things out and trying to figure out what he wants to do next. What do you think, Greg?
Yeah. Well, the petition specifically is the petition that we've signed asking for recount of the centralized counting center, which is the Board of Elections unilaterally controls the centralized counting center, and they won't let us look or see over 8,400 mail-in ballots. They won't let us have any visibility into them, and they've been recalcitrant. And they're not just trying to stop us in Fayette. They've done the same in Chester County and Delaware County. We're already in the appellate. We're already at the appellate courts, and quite frankly, they have no case. Delaware County, we're going into the appellate trajectory this week, but Fayette County, Judge Leskinen has taken the longest time. The other judges came through in like 1 day, 2 days, and Judge Leskinen has, it's been 10 days since we had that hearing before him. And I agree with you, John. He's thinking it out. But in the meantime, we've had a bunch of other things happen that I wanted to talk about that are germane to the elections, and among the reasons why we think that they're trying to obscure and hide election results from us. So one of them being, I know Senator Stefano's in town, and just through word of mouth, he talked about the Penn State satellite campus out there being closed and bringing in illegal aliens into the college campus after they shut it down, and they're going to move illegal aliens in. And it was crazy. And what we did is, out here in Delco, we looked into it, and it's the truth. 20 campuses across the state, Penn State satellite campuses. I don't know if they're going to close all of them or some of them, but it's Governor Shapiro, under his tutelage. Their plan under Governor Shapiro is not to come up with the $94 million that they have, which is a big deficit, but their solution to keeping, serving tens of thousands of Pennsylvania residents, including Fayette County residents, their solution is to shut down, one of the few services the state even provides anymore, which is the Penn State satellite campuses. They're going to shut them down, and they're going to fill them up with illegal aliens right in your county. What do you think about that? That's one of the reasons they want to.
Insane.
It's insane.
Yes, because educational facilities are supposed to bring positive influx of population, right?
Yeah. Well, look at that. Shapiro, Stefano, Vasides, they all know. I mean, I looked at the articles. I mean, we really researched it in the last few days. I was stunned when we just, we got that from a little birdie. That someone had overheard that, and it was so crazy. This is the reason why they won't let us look at the election results. They are not putting in elected representatives. They're putting in the people who are going to, comply with Shapiro's will.
So, have they shut down the Fayette campus, or are they in the
I think it's going to happen. From what Greg researched, what's going to happen is it's going to happen over like maybe a 3-year period, Greg.
Well, they're unclear about. It's unclear, and I think maybe they're expecting people to fight, which I think they will. Mm-hmm. But I got a Penn State campus, not even 5 minutes from my house, Brandywine campus in southeastern Pennsylvania, and we're pretty sure that's on the list. The parking lot's full every day. There's thousands of people who go there, and I know there's quite a few that go to the one in your area. Mm-hmm. And this is why elections matter. People aren't fighting; they don't show up to vote. And then the guys like Governor Shapiro, whose hands are all over, because Shapiro's hands are all over this in transforming the government and basically electioneering. His hands are all over it. Stefano knows. I don't know how Stefano can hold his head up in that town. I'm not saying anyone should confront him, but people who say, I mean, lawfully and politely. I want to be, respectful of the senator. But people should ask him, hey, what's this we hear about you shutting this down? Why aren't people asking that? Why is Vince Vasides? He knows about this.
Yeah, because, people like me are oblivious, because on a day-to-day basis when I am wildly running around with all my kids and I'm saturated in homework and drowning in all the day-to-day things that I have with my kids, so I'm not paying attention to Fayette County, Penn State. Or Penn State, Fayette County, I'm not paying attention. I'm just saying, in general, for me, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah. Well, you've got Governor Shapiro somehow. Again, other little birdies have told us that he's due to land in Fayette County again. And the last time he was here, I think he's made 2 or 3 visits in the last 2 or 3 years. Makes 1 visit a year. The last time he was there was on April, I think 29th or 30th, was the day after we filed our recount.
I remember that day specifically.
Yeah. So he shows up 4.5 hours on the ground, 2 SUVs. We have video of everything, and they spirited out at least 3 bags that were so heavy they couldn't even get them on the plane. one day after we asked for the election results. And we couldn't prove anything there, but now we find out, Governor Shapiro's going to show up. Stefano's in town. I don't know who else is in town, but Shapiro's all of a sudden, I'm going to appear in town 10 days, with Judge Leskinen sitting there really pondering over whether to open the election box, open the ballot boxes, and let us do a recount in 10 days. He's absolutely contemplating this. And now all of a sudden Shapiro's going to show up.
I was just going to say, is that a weird coincidence, right?
So, these are other questions people should ask. Your elected officials. You all know who they are. Yeah. It's Dunn and Lohr and Vasidis and Stefano. When people see them, say, "Hey, can you give us some information here? We just found out you're shutting down the satellite campus. We just found out you won't do the recounts. We just found out we got more information here. We got, the prison, which is, a $54 million mess. You got $16 million deficit. And Vasidis hid all of this. All of this was hidden before the election. And it's only come out because of the due diligence of John and you and the radio and other people. I know Gino Gallo has looked into it. Things are a mess there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, it's I don't know. It's really terrifying to hear that this is happening, because we are already talking about the decline of the county, and we need to bring things that are going to positively influence our county and to draw good people to come into our county and to want to stay here. And if that is true, it just seems like a step in the wrong direction if we're shutting down college campuses, in our area.
Well, there's a nursing school out there. I don't know what. I mean, there's Penn State Nursing, definitely, and I think that we need all the nurses we can get right now.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. So I think it would be more appropriate to try to figure out how to keep it open, and try to figure out how we could provide financial support for anyone that wanted to become a nurse.
Yeah, we want to bring industry here, not drive it away, right?
Yeah, and I mean that's the school districts. I mean, we know how that's all going down, and
yep.
Yeah, well, we just because of the research that we're doing into Delaware County, Chester County, Fayette County, Philadelphia County, what we're finding is there's an overall plan here that's been run, right by Shapiro, Governor Shapiro. I just looked up, and you guys got, I believe there's $48 million in the state, but Fayette County's got $1.7 million, and I think it was $2.8 million to put in low-income housing, and then into Fayette County. So that's certainly not going to help the county. You said you need jobs, and I know we need jobs out there, but they're not going to bring you jobs. They're going to bring you, illegal aliens and low-income houses that are going to devalue the properties there.
Yeah.
And this is the outcome of not having transparent elections. They just install the people that are going to do this. And I know I sound maybe a little like a conspiracy theorist, but what we see here is a common theme across multiple counties of them trying to fundamentally transform the United States and fundamentally transform Pennsylvania, and we don't know what the heck they're fundamentally transforming it into.
Yes.
What we do know is they won't let us look at the elections.
Yeah.
Which is how they're doing it.
Because I can tell you, just from my observations with keeping close tabs on my kids and what's happening with them educationally, I mean, the deterioration of education is the number one, I think, thing that happens, because if you throw a wedge between a school district and the families and create a rift there, it's such a ripple effect. But also when you're completely butting heads because you want the best for your kids and you know that they're not being offered that, and this is public education in general, it is extremely frustrating to keep up the fight, and it's extremely frustrating to keep pecking away at that, because nobody has time for that. And it should be our number one priority because education is where it starts. Once the government impedes on that, it just goes out from there, because if the kids aren't fundamentally understanding what it's like to be a citizen in our country and what our country's foundations are and what our just the what our country is founded on and based on, and they don't understand our Constitution and how our country is ran, then they're just being told what to do, So I feel like
they're not being educated; they're being indoctrinated.
Right.
Well, exactly.
Right. But it's like it's such a slow transformation that you don't even realize it's happening because the education from the time that I went to school until now, it's vastly different. And what I've noticed from my perspective is that the stipulations put on by state and federal government is eliminating the opportunity for a parent to help their child, because if I don't understand the curriculum in order to accompany my child at home and they're not learning, then where does that leave them?
Well, again, the way they implement it, let's go back to the fundamental problem. Is in Delaware County, we had 5 school committee members, 5, and we had a township supervisor, essentially the mayor, the way it works out here. We're a home rule charter, so it might be a little different from Fayette. But they were all miraculously displaced in the last couple of elections by Democrats and by activists, and they took over the schools. And when we went down and we said, hey, we want to see the recount. I mean, my township is overwhelmingly Republican, overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And we went down and we said, look, this is impossible. Mm-hmm. This is not possible. These results, we want to see them. Nope, can't see them. But we're going to fundamentally transform your schools here. And I think we need to look at the elections in Fayette and see why are these school committees and why are these township supervisors, why are your county council, and why is your state senator advocating and allowing and permissively allowing, Governor Shapiro and quite frankly, partisan hard left people to transform Fayette County into their vision of what it should be. I think that comes back to the elections where we've got to get recounts and we've got to get some transparency, because I just don't. Not only do we can prove there was election fraud, mm-hmm. And we can't make specific allegations, but just the way the elections were run by their own actions, we know there was a problem. So asking mm-hmm. for a recount and say, hey, we got to take a look at this, because it's impacting our schools, our taxes, mm-hmm. our jobs, our college campuses, as they just transforming your county, and your citizens are sitting there without any transparency. We don't know who the heck won the last election.
Well, one of the things I will say, Greg, one of the things I want to say is no matter how you look at it, when these people go after this grant money from the federal government or from the state, mm-hmm. that's our tax dollars they're going after. Yeah. And if you paid less taxes,
right,
then maybe it would be more beneficial than going after grant money for projects that are completely useless.
Right. It's sort of like
I mean, they're wanting to the bridge in Connellsville. It's escalating into something that it shouldn't even be there. Right. I mean, it goes nowhere. I mean, so why do we need this? Why do we go? I mean, there's roads that need to be fixed in this county, bridges that need to be fixed. I mean, they're going after enough of money. I mean, we got volunteer fire companies that have to have fish fries and sell hoagies, and EMS workers doing the same thing along the side of the highway in order to keep these services available to us. Yeah. And we're going after grant money. We're going after grant money for things that. It's not that it isn't a good thing, but we need to fix what we got here first. It's kind of like the courthouse. Yeah. We went down the street and spent over $5 million on a building that we didn't need, and now we got a whole floor of the courthouse that's not being utilized at all. Yeah. You got a basement that's half empty now that used to be used to be viable.
Yeah.
We need to take care of what we have first.
Yes. But circling back to what you said, the grant money isn't free money. It's our tax money that they're taking out of our paycheck, and then the government gets to decide what they're doing with it, right?
Yeah.
So if they didn't tax us as much, and we would then, if we want to donate to a local fire department, if we had more money in our paychecks, we'd have more money to donate. So if we, instead of, the government dictating to us what to do with our money because they're taking it out of our paycheck, and then they have a whole bunch of people deciding what they do with the tax money, if it was in our pocket, we would invest it in the fire departments and not a bridge project that nobody, maybe a majority of the population would not be interested in, right?
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, the money leaves. They take it out in tax money, and then by the time it gets back here, it's shrunk. It's shrunk, and we're still asking for our money back when we're still.
Right.
I mean, that's the part of the problem.
Well, you're exactly right, because a tax credit really isn't a tax credit. It's basically you guys submit your taxes. The citizenry submits their taxes to the state. The state takes their cut and their VIG, and then they dole out to special interest groups. Like I'm reading here, the Penn Homes Program, Penn, PHFA, but there's just a small group of actors benefiting in Fayette County, Chester County, and Delaware County. They basically take people's tax money, like you said, and instead of applying it to something that would benefit everyone or a large majority of people, they focus it in on a small group of people, and no one's holding anybody accountable out there.
Yeah.
I mean, Pat Stefano and Vince Vacides and the rest of the council out there, they should be held accountable. And people should go to, why aren't people going to county council meetings or commissioner meetings and asking these questions? Why aren't you allowing us to do a recount? Why are you spending $12.4 million to fix up some apartments on Main Street? And when you can't, like you said, you have fire departments there that serve the whole county that aren't getting enough money.
Yeah. But like I said, if we were taxed less, then the people understand where the needs are. And I feel like if we had more money in our pockets, then we would be more willing to help out where we felt was appropriate. I think that the more the taxes that are taken out and people dictating what to do with that money, the less control we have of where that money goes. And it's not necessarily benefiting the total population. And like you said, sort of preluded to it, it really just focuses on a certain population. And a fire department, no matter what way you cut the cheese, is helping everybody, because it doesn't matter who you are. If you're in a car accident or if your house is on fire, they're coming to service you. So they benefit everybody in the community. And if they need help and I want to help them and I don't want a bridge, I should be able to take my money that they're taking out of my paycheck in taxes and donate it to the fire department if I feel if I feel the need to do that.
Right. And it all comes down to accountability, and they don't want to be held accountable for the elections. They don't want to be held accountable for the way they spend money. I don't know how you have right here in Delaware County before our county was essentially taken over, we had a surplus. We had an $890 million budget, almost $1 billion budget in Delaware County.
Wow.
We were, I wouldn't say cash flush, but we had a positive cash flow. Roads were being repaired. I mean, things were going well here. And in just 3.5 years, we now have a $60 million deficit. It's actually higher than $60 million. It's more like $200 million deficit. And the same thing has occurred in Fayette. And we look at Chester County because those are the counties we're looking at. And in just a short amount of time, these people who are fundamentally transforming the United States and the state, which Governor Shapiro is absolutely part of, well, I'm going to fundamentally transform the state. And part of their fundamental transformation is to put everybody in hawk. We're standing, we can't get fire trucks to, put out fires. We can't get roads and bridges repaired, but yet we're tens of millions and hundreds of $1 million in debt in just a few years with these people in charge. And yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But, I just thought about this as you were talking. But I've said this before, and I will say it again. People really need to make going to these meetings a priority. I always said that about the school board meetings because nothing will ever change unless you actually go to the meetings, and they're open to the public. And in order to hold them accountable, you have to know what what decisions they're making. So, I mean, some of these meetings are available online, at the convenience. And I know people work and they're not always able to attend them, but I mean, maybe that's something that needs to change as well. Like maybe it should be more at a time that's more feasible for people.
Well, the one thing we have to really address here, Greg, is the cause and effect of things, and we're running out of time a little bit. But Act 77 has caused this.
Yep.
Act 77 has caused this. There's no doubt about it. Ron Warner voted for it. Pat Stefano brought it out of committee, and a lot of people were saying that it's the way the judges interpret it, but it's really black letter law. It is. I mean, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, and Greg can go on for 30 minutes about it, but the thing of it is it was written in such a form that it makes it easier for incumbents to get reelected.
Right.
Absolutely. Just to maintain the status quo. It was a ill-conceived and rushed legislation. It came out of, to be more specific, Pat Stefano, the bills that became Act 77, and we wrote about it in the book, The Parallel Election. Pat Stefano was one of the authors of the bills that brought us Act 77. So it came out of his committee that he crafted, and he wrought. I mean, it's his direct actions that brought us Act 77. And I think that people, again, in order to hold people accountable, why aren't people asking Pat Stefano what he's done to correct this? Right. And they've done nothing to correct this. It's gotten worse. Because in 3 years, you said you were going to do election reform, and the only reform I can see is we have no visibility into our elections. You guys have a double secret probation election in a centralized counting center, and that we can't see, that we literally can't observe. We don't get to audit. We don't get to review who won. And what protected the United States for over 200 years was the decentralization and the fact that votes were done and counted in precincts. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying, so I don't know why. There's nothing in Act 77 as an example that says we have to have centralized counting centers. Right. So one of the things I would ask Pat Stefano would be, Mr. Stefano, you guys wrote this legislation to reform elections, but where did you say we had to have a centralized counting center, and why do only 4 or 5 people, literally your Board of Elections and a few election officials, public officials, why do you guys now have complete control over the elections in Fayette County? And why can't we get visibility into what these literally handful of people, I'm talking single digits number of people, your Board of Elections, one of which is a federal judge appointed by Obama, who doesn't even live in your county anymore. He's on your zoning board, okay? He doesn't live there. And yet you have a Board of Elections member there, all of them being lawyers, okay, who won't provide any public comment. They won't provide any transparency. They've held these certifications without proper public notice, and no one is holding them accountable. They can walk around town and they can have breakfast and they can shoot the breeze with people, and no one says anything. Why?
I guess a good question is also, why aren't the mail-in ballots counted at the precinct that they're...
That's what he just said.
Oh, is that what he said?
That's what he just said. He said this is what the problem is.
Him, like, why
because then you would know. Then when you would be able to check off the name and say, okay, yeah,
right.
I mean, that's what it was intended to be. In fact, there was even something that happened over some ballots here in Fayette County a few years ago where somebody put forth at the last minute they stopped them from sending all the ballots into the county because they weren't wanting to count them at the precincts, and they finally got them to count them at the precincts. So, anyways, that's the. But I mean,
can I say something to something? It's specifically, this is not something that's hard to do. Now, the Board of Elections would say, "Oh, it's impossible to count 8,000 mail-in ballots." You have 77 precincts. And in the 77 precincts, essentially would be, let's call it 100 mail-in ballots. The polls close at 8 p.m. on an election day. The law says that they have to count and turn in the precinct results by 1 a.m. Now, I've been a poll watcher multiple times, including when we used to count the mail-in ballots, so the absentee ballots is what they called them before. We used to count them on election day, election night. Now, we only got 20 or 30 of them per election, but even now, assuming there's a couple of people, 2 or 3 people per precinct, I don't see the boggle in counting 100 mail-in ballots per precinct. 5 hours to count 100 mail-in ballots. Why do we have to have a multi-million-dollar mail sorting machine, multi-million-dollar mail slicers? The Agassar machines is what they call them. We have mail sorters and slicers, and we've got these people sitting inside of basically a closed room now counting something that people used to be able to do with a letter opener and get done in 5 hours. Now it takes 5 weeks. We don't certify the elections for 5 to 8 weeks. And in the May election, John, what was it? Three months went by, instead of something that could have been done that night. And then when we went to ask for the recount, oh no, you can't see anything. The law clearly said we could, but they just said no, period. And now we're sitting in appellate courts and federal courts trying to adjudicate something that could have been just as simple as, hey, if everything's on the square and the up and up, why don't you want to open the ballot boxes? Let us look at them.
Well, hey Greg, it was nice having you on again. We'll probably have you on again. I guess I wore my tie today because you were going to be on the radio. So, anyways, hey, you take care. I appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll keep after
it.
Hey, we got something we have to correct here. I made a mistake, and I do apologize. Go ahead, Gina.
I'm sorry. My friend Jared bought. It's a tavern in Dunbar, but it's called Fat Cats now. It's going to be renamed Fat Cats Tavern. So I just wanted to clear that up. It's still in Dunbar Township. It's where Just a Tavern was. And so we'll post the address for that. And like we said, the pierogies were really good. So
the pierogies was good.
Favorite.
I tasted a little piece of the fish, and of course, there's nothing like homemade potato chips.
And they're known for their wings. They have live music on Fridays too. So
okay, hey, we got to close this show up. I want to thank everybody for listening and calling in. On this road called life, you have to take the good with the bad. Smile when you're sad. Love what you got, and remember what you had. Always forgive, but never forget. Learn from your mistakes. People change. Things go wrong. Just remember, the ride goes on. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. I am John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly.
This is your local station, WMBS Uniontown.
This is CB.